Hold on.
We live.
Uh, Coogee chocolate.
No. Habari Gani. Habari Gani, Habari Gani, Habari Gani. And then you
Habari
said
Gani.
Umoja.
Umoja. That's what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say. Okay.
Yeah. So what's
Asante
the
Sana.
news? Habari Gani, what's the news? And then you say the principle of the day. Habari Gani.
Um, Umoja.
Ashe, right? So what's the news? Unity. Ashe. Thank you guys. Welcome to another episode of Educeumm. Super excited. As you guys know, we are in the midst of first day Educeumm Kwanzaa. I've been prepping for this for a little while. Again, this is another collaboration. I'm putting two together because we are celebrating Kwanzaa as well as another Dope Black Man. As you know, I have a Dope Black Man series. So this is the continuation of that as well as the celebration of Kwanzaa. So let's just start at the beginning. Let me introduce myself. My name is China Empress Beatrice Nellen, and this platform is called Educeumm. Educe is taken from the root word of educate, which, educate is taken from the root word of reduce, right? Which means to bring out. So the idea is that everything that we need really is already inside of us, but sometimes we just need a little help bringing that information out and understanding it. So on Educeumm, we have discussions. Sometimes these discussions are about topics that are uncomfortable. Sometimes they're topics that are easy. But on Educeumm, we have these discussions. So today we're talking about Kwanzaa, particularly the principle unity. My guest is Remy Johnson. I will let him introduce himself a little bit briefly, but I first want to explain why I brought him on here, why I chose him for the principle of unity. I met Remy in graduate school, and from the time that I got there, he was very inclusive of everyone, right? It was very important to him that we had a cohort. And over the amount of time that I've spent with him, he's always trying to create community in whatever spaces that we go. That's very important, creating those connections. Also, another way that Remy and I in particular represent the principle of Kwanzaa in terms of unity is we have a beautiful daughter together, whom we co-parent, right? And so a lot of times I call Remy frustrated, things of that nature, and he's always very, very supportive of me and the decisions that we have to make for our daughter moving forward. Well, most of the time, right? Sometimes we bump heads, but that's cool, I say. So one of the things that I kind of want to talk about with unity a little bit later in the conversation, because first I'm going to let Remy introduce himself, is that a lot of times when we hear the word unity, people think that everybody is in complete agreement, right? Like there is no bumping heads at all, right? It's just 100% agreement, but that's not what unity is. Unity is having an overlying principle that's bigger than the issues that you all have. You know what I'm saying? Or the differences rather that you all have with each other. So when we're looking for unity within ourselves, within our families, within our communities, and within our culture, we have to understand that everything is not going to be the exact same. So with no further ado, I will allow Remy to go ahead and introduce himself. Ashe?
Uh, Hello, everyone. Uh, I'm sorry I'm not a particular media personality. Um, Only reason I'm doing this because,
Really?
you know, um, in terms of, I guess I can tell you about my educational background. In terms of the topic of the show. Um, I have a bachelor's in African studies, African world studies. I have a master's in Pan Africanism, and I have an honors degree in African literatures from the University of Zimbabwe. My, like China told you, my master's degree comes from Syracuse University. My undergraduate degree comes from Fort Valley State University, which is a HBCU in Georgia, Middle Georgia, about 25, I guess about 25 minutes away from Macon, Georgia. uh, I spend most of my time developing a curriculum and paradigms that help people of African descent see the commonality in their experiences past, present, and their destiny, the future. So I think that's about it. I don't want to go on too much. I'm gonna let China guide the conversation.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with that. So when you're creating, not even talking about creating the paradigm, so why is it important, right, for us to understand the past, for us to more fully understand our present, right? So I think a lot of times I have some friends I can think of in particular. I have one friend, often I've heard her say, why me? Like, why is all this stuff happening to me? Like she's isolated, right? Like there's not this long history or this long list of things that often are chain reaction things that have created this position that you might be in this particular situation. And then you're not the only one going through it, right? You're not the only person dealing with this right now. So I don't know, that's always been frustrating to me. But why is it important, like, for us to know our past to better understand our present and what we can do in the future if we want to change things?
I think you can answer that question in like three different ways, right?
Okay.
Three different scenarios. From music, Gil Scott Heron used to say that activists suffer from big city isolation. And that's because it's so much distance between us because we only come one every 350 people or something. You know what I'm saying?
Activists or artists? What?
Activists.
Activists, okay.
Artists, activists, scholar activists.
For sure, right.
Banker activists. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just activists, people who truly are looking for a way to change the way things go in society. So that's one way to look at it, big city isolation. And so that's another reason we need to have knowledge of self, because when you're doing this type of stuff, it's not very popular. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're isolated, you have to be able to hold your own. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people give in to peer pressure and stuff. You know what I mean? And they can't take being the only one doing something that's unpopular, even though it might be right. And so in social psychology, they would call it the failures of groupthink. But another way to look at it, like when you go for a bank loan, right? Do they just give you the loan, or do they look at your history? They look at your history first, right?
Right.
When you go to the doctor, what they do? Look at your history.
Mm-hmm.
When the police pull you over, what they do? Look at your history. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the society, you look at history, but somehow when we come to deal with ourselves and society itself, we try to displace history, even though everything around us is based on history, and that's an incredible dynamic. And so when the foreclosure crisis came, one of my friends was saying that she felt like a failure. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn. I said, but damn, X amount of people lost their home. You know what I'm saying? How you figure you're the only one? Which is what really pisses me off, because white people are able to execute what they do and make it look like it's your fault. Yeah. And so that's one way. That's another way to look at it. You know what I'm saying? That phenomenon right there.
Can you pause for a second? I just want to clarify a little bit, because when you just said that, it worked with me. So you said white people will say it again. White people what?
They're experts at and I don't want to just say I'll say our government.
For sure, right? Yeah.
But mostly headed by white people.
Right.
For the whole history of its existence. So we can say they. They are experts at doing things and then making people think that they did it to themselves. So you have another student of mine, she was talking about her mother, and her mother made bad decisions, and you know what I'm saying, in her past, dealing with drugs or whatever. And I said, "How you figure she made personal decision?" She said, "Cause she did. She could have chose not to do that." And so then I said, "Ain't boys and all this type of shit that's supposedly cool." You know what I'm saying? I said the drugs
Mm-hmm.
that your parents took are basically was like these party drugs that y'all take today, or most kids take today.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the context of their time period, it didn't nobody can foresee, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so right now, and so from that perspective, then I let her know that the drugs was intentionally put into our society.
Right.
And of course, she told me that was a conspiracy theory, but there's other examples in history where you can go look at where they use drugs on communities to subdue them.
For sure. Right.
So, so they tried drugs. You gotta think about it. First, they tried slavery. Then they tried miseducation or socialization. Then they tried to kill all our leaders. Right? They tried to hang
Okay.
us.
Success
They,
did
yeah.
did
And
that.
so the next best thing was to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And
Yeah.
it's layers to that, right? So all that you're talking about is layers. It's a consistent patterned behavior that's leading towards a place that we're in and predicaments and situations that we currently have that we think is all us, right? And we come under this
Yeah.
crazy depression and anxiety thinking that everything, every negative thing that's around us was created by us. You know what I'm saying? And like that's really overwhelming and hard to get people to understand. But you just gave a really
But that's
crazy
that's
example
why
of that.
that's why we have to study history. And
Ashe.
so when you like America, as simple as it is, it's as simple as Donald Trump.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you have to understand it's a whole network of people behind Donald Trump and the whole history that allows him to be Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so from
Allow him
that
to be in the
perspective,
office.
right? So from that perspective, each person is like that though, in this society. We carry the whole history of our family most of the
Right. Right.
time. And
Right.
that's because they never really dealt with the issues. All we doing is carrying the issues from the last generation into this generation.
Right. So, okay.
And
So I'm
and
gonna I want you to keep talking. I have to run and get my charger, but we have someone on, and I just want you to keep. I'll be right back.
what you want me to talk about?
Finish talking. Like I don't know who the viewer is. Feel free to jump in our comment box. Let us know who's here with us. It's the three of us right now, but this is going to be recorded, and several people have the opportunity to watch us talk about Umoja unity. I have to run and get my cord.
Okay.
Okay, but okay.
I can't see the other person. I don't.
They're on the thing, on the live thing. You're not supposed to see them.
Oh, okay. This ain't no weird shit. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, Soror, how are you doing? This is my Soror Brenda Robinson that's in there. Listen to us talk about unity. Ashe, thank you for watching. So we are back in the conversation now. Apologies, my phone on my computer almost died, but we were just talking about the importance of really understanding your past so you understand the situation that you're in right now. One of the things I thought that was really interesting about the Umoja principle of unity is that it did start with self, right? I thought that was not weird, you know what I'm saying? But like first you have to have unity within self, right? Love thyself, know thyself, be thyself. And that kind of has to do with what you were talking about a second ago. Remy, with knowing your past, so that you kind of understand your current situation, and we can try not to repeat those issues. You know what I'm saying? Or same obstacles that our forefathers had.
I should say, when you say you begin with yourself, that's the initial error that we make
Hmm.
in believing that yourself is separate from everything else. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
It's no separation in reality. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I'm an individual and I live as a quote unquote single man, I still move because I know I have children and I'm attached to a community. You know, my mother has
For sure.
expectations of me. My mentors, people who helped me in life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and so, but spiritually, most African people say that we are connected anyway spiritually, and so that's why we're not supposed to kill and destroy the environment because you're attacking yourself.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
um, it's a I think, I'm not a theologian, but I think that's the basic principle in the Bible when they say he won't deny you because he can't deny himself.
Hmm.
I think that's the basic ethos behind that. Or
Hmm.
I don't know if that's in the Bible or if it's just a saying that Black people use. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I think that's the general logic behind it. Because when you think of it like that, then a lot of the issues that we have in society wouldn't exist. From shooting people, you know what I'm saying, from violence to domestic violence
Mm-hmm.
to destruction of the environment. None of this would exist if you thought that
Right.
way,
If you
or if we practice life that way. If
right.
we can see the unity between things.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Um, so the second part of the principle moves into, so it goes from self or individual, which Remy just did a really dope job of really bringing full circle, right, connecting back into the community and the land itself, right. But the principle then goes into family, right. So unity and family, and the thing that I was kind of hitting on earlier was that a lot of times when we hear the word unity, we want to think that everyone is in complete alignment, right? That everything is the same. Everyone is in agreement. And that's not really what unity is. It's us having this in my opinion, is us having this overarching goal that is bigger than whatever our disagreements are. That allows us to either compromise or just look over or dismiss whatever is the friction, right? So I'll let you speak a little bit about that if you want to.
Um, that's what when we was originally talking.
Mm-hmm.
The third scenario is what people call political unity,
Mm.
right? But they misperceive that as sameness, as being everybody being the same,
Right.
which is irrational. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And furthermore, we know that's not a question that emerged from within our continuum because it's a rational question. Of course, we're not the same. Like me, you, and the baby got dreads, right? Everybody dread look different, but
For
we
sure.
one unit, and she came directly from me, and you, and her dread is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the most fundamental perspective, we're not gonna be the same. Me and my mom don't have the same political idea, and so of course, me and 40 other million African Americans are not gonna have the same idea. You see what I'm saying? But but that's a alien question. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, to our discourse. And so when we talk about political unity, right? There's unity when I just got through watching this news story about that bomb that went off.
Yeah, in Nashville. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have
What
been
news
down.
story did you see? Do you mind me
Yeah,
asking?
huh?
What?
I ain't even. I just checked. I just made. I don't even know where it was at. You
Okay,
know
you
what I'm saying?
just were seeing it in your stream. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I can say that if it was people outside, right? It
Mm-hmm.
was Democrats, Republicans, Jews, Nazis, all type of different people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When that bomb went off, unity would have caused everybody. Everybody would have moved away. But that's like subconscious reactionary type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what we talking about when we say unity, like political, making a conscious decision, like we trying to move towards this objective together, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? In a
Sure.
perfect world, you would like to have people all having the same mind and stuff, but that's not reality. Like most people in relationships, like I keep saying, even in boyfriend girlfriend relationships, y'all are different. And so when I met some guys a while back and we was talking about this, and I was like, "Look, man," I said, "We not getting married." I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, "You and my girlfriend, bro. We got to wear the same t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? We got to be doing all that. It's just if the ball start rolling down the hill and it's finna hit the car, we both need to stop it.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
try to get catch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
No
sure.
matter what else going on, how you got there that day,
Let's
where,
make
where
sure
you,
it's got. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, where you was
yeah,
at last Saturday, who your mama go with. I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying?
for sure. For sure.
Because if you would think about it that way and you know history, then once you start searching for unity in that capacity, you're gonna fail every time because so much damage has been done to the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so many hurdles within each person.
Mm-hmm.
So I met a large family, and they were saying, something always happening to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we cursed. You know what I'm saying? I said, no. I said it's just a lot of y'all. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I said, so if you got 7 households and you got 3 males in each household, white supremacy gonna get at least one or two. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, but it's the truth. And
Yeah.
so if you interacting with a big family, it's saying something gonna happen to you every couple months because
Mm-hmm. So.
what's innate, depending on where you live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up in the ghetto or whatever, but I didn't really lose nobody close to me. You know what I'm saying? Before
Mm-hmm.
until my grandma passed this year, and my auntie. Like my grandfather passed when I was in Africa, but he was such him that I was scared to be sad about him dying. So you
I
know,
say.
right?
I
So
say.
but I said all that to say, there's other people in the ghetto who lost like 5, 6 people in a year sometimes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so is no fluidity, and so you to try to engage unity in certain type of ways, you gonna fail every time. And so when we talk about political unity, we just talking about achieving the objective. I usually say, um, if people have children, we can whatever we're working towards for them to be okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Me and you don't have to like each other, but I'm definitely not gonna let nothing happen to your baby. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Um,
Right.
black, white, or otherwise. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. It seems like that's often where we can find common ground. You know what I'm saying? Is
But
where our future is concerned, the kids.
that's humanity. That's us.
Right.
But other people don't think that way. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so that's where you get a lot of aggression from within our movements coming out of our
Mm-hmm.
community because we don't treat other people like they treat us.
Right.
You know what I'm
Because we
saying?
don't value life the way we value life. I
We just
understand.
certain things we would never do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I remember when Trayvon Martin got killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I seen some little white boys. He was just they was just trying to play basketball with. You know what I'm saying? I think I went to the gym with you or something. And in my mind, I'm really pissed off. You know what I mean? We in Florida and everything. And so, but at the same time, like, damn, I'm just a little kid. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They couldn't have been more than 11. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? His stomach hanging out his jaw. Yeah, the fuck. I ain't. You know what I'm saying? It just clicked to me. I was like, man, these just kids, man. Them little
Yeah.
boys stayed around me forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They
But
gravitate towards you. Yeah.
yeah, so unity, political unity for us begins with like really understanding what's going on.
For sure.
And now a lot of people aren't ready to work towards political unity toward it.
Yeah, it seems like they're very nitpicky, right? It seems like anytime like we have like a black leader or even like a black cultural movement or something going on, it seems like they start nitpicking at it right away, like pulling it apart. And I think it's important to evaluate. I think it's important to scrutinize. I think like a critique is very important for growth, right? A realistic
Mm-hmm.
view of it. But like
Mm-hmm.
the things that we accept from these other parties and other political candidates and offices, things of that nature, stuff that like we often roll over for, you know what I'm saying, continuously, like you don't even want to begin to work with in a party or a community or a group of people or individuals that might be moving on your behalf culturally, right?
Well,
I think it's interesting because I forgot what I was about to say. Go ahead.
well, I was finna say that's because um our elders, our ancestors say that people, society actually functions like when you use culture and education and that type of information and history and stuff, what you're doing is creating an equation to put everybody on the same rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so because we don't have those things uh, specific to us as a quote unquote race in this society, we can't create the mass coalitions that other races seem to be able to do. You see what I'm saying? When you go to Chinatown, you see those Chinese buildings and Chinese writings, and you go wherever the Mexicans live, you see that culture. You know what I'm saying? But for us, you will see pockets of culture, but you won't see no one unified umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, most people's natural response is black people are not a homogenous group, but neither are Chinese people, neither are
Right.
Jamaican, neither are
Right.
nobody else, neither are
Right.
European.
Right.
And so what we're talking about, um, and it goes back to your original statement. Most people need to read history because a lot of these questions have been resolved theoretically.
Yes, they have.
Um, I'm talking about before 1950, which is why you had a civil rights movement, which got ready to transform into a Black Power movement, and which means that it was going international, which means that it was Pan Africanist from the beginning. So a lot of African Americans, we don't see ourselves as being a part of anything apart from what white people got going on. But I think, in my opinion, I think people like Du Bois and Woodson and Garvey, they was preparing us to be a particular pillar. Like we building a roof right now, and you know each turn you have to put a post so that the pressure from the roof won't collapse over whatever we building, right? So we're just one post, but there's other posts in England, black people in England, France, Brazil, Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? But but we're not allowing ourselves to be part of that house. We keep
For
trying
sure.
to balance a
Isolate.
roof. We trying to balance a roof on one stick in the middle, centrist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so instead of being a part of something else, but the good thing about time and about how intelligent our ancestors were is that we're in a moment right now where people who don't want to work with Africa, in particular black people in this country, right? you're going to be the only group of people from developed countries that won't be working with Africa. And that's going to look real crazy. Like, it'll be a group of African Americans refusing to work with Africa while everybody else is pushing to, you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Everything else is pointing back to Africa right now. And people still are refusing. And so that's the biggest hurdle for our unity here, because that's what's going to bind us. No matter what your religion is, it takes you through Africa, no matter what you believe. And so religion can't be what's keeping us back, right? Because and so what's keeping us back is, in my opinion, and this comes from the 1960s, is that to begin that first generation of integration, people or students that came out of those schools, they began their study with several traumatic events, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, if you was a fucking kid in the 50s and 60s, you had a fucked up childhood. You are, like, you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, I mean, you know, shit.
In
Like,
terms of like segregation, integration of schools,
they
civil
were
rights.
blowing nigga head off.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
strange.
And then you gotta look at it.
Yeah, but that's earlier than the 50s and 60s, isn't it?
Nah, they were killing people throughout the whole damn time.
The history, yeah, sure.
Like, they might just bring a motherfucker in front of your house before you go to church or something and just shoot them on some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? And so people
they were terrorizing Black communities. Yeah.
Terrorizing. No, man, I think it was just the day-to-day practice of racism in this country. When you look at it in history, like, that's what made me start working out and finding other hobbies, because I couldn't deal with the aggression that was in the history once I started to understand it. If that makes sense. But that generation of kids that grew up in the 60s and 70s, they seen the most powerful men they ever thought that existed in the world, right? So when they got through building up Dr. King and Malcolm X in the media, they seemed so powerful to regular Black folk, right? And particularly those who had never read history or knew about other people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they just took it, right? And got away with it. You see what I'm saying? So that turned that generation, in my opinion,
and got away with it.
When they killed those men.
The assassination. I know, the assassination of them. Right. Yeah. And those were the only Black historical figures that they knew to be great, because they didn't have history of the great men that came before them, because they had not done any research and they didn't have access to it in the educational systems they had before.
It's just that those yeah, I mean, but it's just that generation, that's where they came from in their childhood. And in the event that you do come to some type of consciousness and try to study something else, even if, what is it, Rastafari, right? You still gonna come across Bob Marley, Haile Selassie, all these people, Walter Rodney, who had the Che Guevara, all these people had, whether you are Latin, you know what I'm saying, whatever you are, you know what I mean, throughout the whole period. So that whole generation of children grew up with the idea of politics that was in the back of their mind. The most important thing was they was gonna kill us. You see what I'm saying? And so they were traumatized. Our generation, I think we deal with, when I say our generation, I was born in 1981. I think we deal with the whole drug issue. You know what I mean? And then the millennials, or whatever they call themselves, and the next couple of generations, they deal with the 70s, 80s, and 90s all packed into one. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that certain things that they doing, most of the time when I hear people talking about those kids, I'm like, what's the point? I like, shit, we did the shit to them. You know what I'm saying? And so when they're over over asserting themselves in terms of trying to show that they're not scared and they ain't no punks and they're willing to shoot. Everything they're doing is to oppose what they've been taught about us in
You're
history.
talking about the aggressive behavior of the younger generations now, like you're willing to shoot on sight, things of that nature.
Yeah, but and what's scary is they're not even the most aggressive people in society.
Who was the
We
most
got
aggressive?
yeah, we got the nicest criminals in this society. I mean, just look at I'm saying like we depicted as the bad ones though, but I can't go find no nigga in the hood and be like, let's go blow up a building. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm like, you fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let's go shoot up this church. No, fuck you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let's go shoot these little kids at this. No, what? You see what I'm saying? That nigga tripping. You know what I'm saying? So we not the worst, but that's the ironic part about being quote unquote American, where people can depict you as what they want to depict you as. So the whole idea of political unity, it it has to begin with knowledge of self and you having the the strength and the willingness to assert that we gonna move towards this goal no matter what you know what I'm saying, what's going on around us.
For sure.
And so in a sense it's kind of like maroonage. You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain to us what maroonage? Okay, cool.
Maroonage, in history, it refers to people who escaped slavery, right, and built their own communities or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But today, a lot of people think maroonage is dead, but it's not. So today, you have to be an intellectual. You know what I mean?
Intellectual maroon.
Yeah, and which means that you have to be able to create, like you created this space right here, this Black media space. Now, if you continue to maintain this space and this space becomes a platform for other people who trying to do similar work like you, and y'all start producing this content that can create social change, then essentially this becomes like a 21st century maroon enclave.
For sure.
But it's just in a web-based environment.
For sure.
But so when we talk about maroonage, we talking about creating a space,
community,
an autonomous space for thinking and being to occur.
For sure.
And so from that perspective, even when the slaves used to be enslaved people, used to be on a plantation, you would be able to, like when they used to sing and do all these different things, or they go and do the ring shout, that was all types forms of maroonage. They was elevating, transcending their condition. So like when you working out and you listen to music, right? When you listen to music, it made the time go a little bit easier. You know what I mean? Some people that work a job, you can listen to some music, your day go a little bit easier, a little bit faster too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But that's on, it's really on some physics and shit, but it's simple. But that's something our ancestors used to do on the plantations to elevate their condition. So that's what maroonage is about. Sometimes it's talking about moving horizontal, but it also moves vertical. You know what I mean? Sometimes it means moving away from the power structure. And then another time it might just mean rising above a situation.
I say.
Yeah. And so yeah. Go ahead.
Like today, we're talking about unity. We've been talking to Remy Johnson for about 40 minutes. We're going to wrap up the conversation in a little bit. Feel free to jump in the chat box and say something to us if you want to. But we're talking about Umoja, unity for Kwanzaa, and I'm really trying to ground the term. What does it mean realistically? How do we carry this action out throughout the year? So we've just kind of been highlighting some of those ideas. One of the Remy is also part of my 20 or so dope Black men I know. And on those segments, I always talk about something that I learned from the dope Black men that I have on there. Remy has taught me a lot just about understanding um, not necessarily Black men, but understanding people in general, right? Like this
Mhm.
idea of unity, as like we were saying before, of everybody having to be the same. It's not about having to be the same, but like having this overarching theme,
Mhm.
right? And understanding, right? Understanding the history and the circumstances that sometimes create where people are. So Remy really helped me to understand how history and trajectory can place us in particular situations, and we need to be empathetic to that. Because a lot of times we can understand somebody's past and like still not care, kind of be oblivious or unconcerned about it, and it sucks when it's coming from us. The only thing I can kind of equate it to is similar experience I used to have younger when I used to go to church, right?
Mhm.
Church is supposed to be the place where everything is warm. We embrace everybody. You come to church to like, I don't know, to grow, to change, whatever. But as soon as the girl come in church with the short skirt, everybody looking at her sideways, right? But you came here to heal and to be changed, so it should have been an embrace, right? But I found
Mhm.
myself doing that with expectations that I had of particular men or women or cousins or just people. You know what I'm saying? I had these expectations of them for whatever reason, particularly my family members, things of that nature. I would often feel disappointed, and Remy would pull me to the side and be like, "I know what you're talking about, you know, X, Y, and Z. Did you look
Yeah.
at this? Did you look at what they?" And so, like, that meant a lot to me because now I have amazing relationships with those people, and that has created unity with me and my family because I was able to look past these false things that I had created that society had put on me for them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say thank you for that. That's one of the reasons that I think you super dope, right? Because you gave me clarity and allowed me to love my family in a very different manner, to be more understanding. Wrapping up though, I want us to talk about you can speak on that if you want to, but I also want you to go ahead and talk about how you plan to continue to display unity throughout the 2021, because I chose you because you already represent the principles, right? So as Remy was mentioning to me before, he doesn't necessarily celebrate Kwanzaa, and that's not what this is about, right? People often think that Kwanzaa is a holiday like Christmas and Easter, and think no, that's not what it's about. It's a
Mhm.
something you can choose to participate in if you want to. It is an African American cultural holiday where we focus on these particular principles, right? So I'm finding people who represent that principle for me, right? So for me, Remy represents unity, and he can show you that through his actions, right? Tomorrow, when we were talking about Kuji Chakalia self determination, I'm gonna have Shamara Hampton on, and she expresses Kuji Chakalia in her action, right? So a lot of times we carry these principles already. That's what Educeumm is about. All these principles are already in us. Unity, Umoja is in you, right? You just
Yeah.
sometimes need some help understanding what that looks like, right? So, how are you, Remy, bringing Umoja unity into the 2021 New Year?
Well, I'm gonna speak to your statement about what you learned from me.
I say.
It's not so much about having empathy because we can't help. You can't help nobody. We can't save Africa. Nobody can save nobody, right? But what we're trying to do is like we in a situation, right? You talk about
Mm,
history. We black, right? So we in a situation. That's the reality. How you want to um, interpret that or ingest it, that's on you. Some people say we at war. Some
mm,
people say our people are lost. Some
mm,
people say our people are miseducated. Other
mm,
people say that, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, we're in a situation, and so the way out of it, because we can't wait for everybody to go through the process of re-Africanization.
mm,
So me, I go to different countries and different cities and stuff, right? And I don't have time to teach everybody history from 11,000 BC to the present to get
I
you
say.
to accept us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could, but
It's
you
exhausting.
know, no, you gonna get tired first. But I swear to God. But but so what we're trying to do is like in order for us to work with white people, we have to look past what they did to us in the past, right? And but we also want to apply that thing to ourselves. But we also, because everything people do that's quote unquote bad, or if you think you bad, a bad person or whatever, that's not necessarily true in the context of a competition, right?
Hmm.
So you probably just need to be placed in a different environment to where your skills, which are defined as negative in one context, could become positive in another context, right?
Hmm.
So if I came to a community, right, and I knew somebody who was good at what's something bad, um, somebody who knew a lot about guns, right?
Okay.
Um, Everybody else probably be scared of them, but if we talk to this person and get them right, then they can become part of a workshop where we teach self defense. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so we haven't really changed that person or that for that person, but we put them in a place where they can be productive.
For sure.
Right. So if we was like a basketball team or football team and I was your coach, my job in designing the offense is to figure out a way for you to use your skill.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be the best jumper or the fastest runner or the strongest, but you have something about you that if I put you in the right position, you can take advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because of what I know about you. But then again, that begins with me knowing about you. So it's not so much about empathy, but it's about taking time to learn each other, right? And then getting in the game. Like,
Mm.
you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm doing in 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of this year, I I don't know I I I kind of figured this would be like a crazy year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but this is the year that I will be cutting my dreads off, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, because I when I started growing, I said I was gonna grow until I was 40, and then I would
Mm-hmm.
cut them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be going through a change, but I won't do that to the summertime when I
Mm-hmm.
turn 40. But this year, so that's one thing. I'll be completing a list of goals that I set out for myself in terms of going certain places and learning things and accomplishing certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when I cut my dread, that'll be the completion of a certain life cycle that I started.
Hmm.
Um, so for me, I'll just be doing the regular stuff that I've been doing, um, writing, um, chilling, building relationships. Um, in South Africa, I can tell you this. They have one of my peers from when I was at the University of Zimbabwe. He's now instituting the Department of Apartheid Studies.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I've been working with them, and I work with other people doing other stuff. So I believe that we can achieve unity if we develop educational curriculum that makes that seem like a reality or provides a framework for these kids to work towards you.
Hmm.
Right now, what they have doesn't allow them to work towards unity because it's built on a stream of lies and
Hmm.
because they are, in general, they're very materialistic.
Hmm.
And because they're materialistic and because the people we're going against have the most money,
Hmm.
we kind of, it's gonna keep failing
Hmm.
because we can't outspend them, right? Because they
Hmm.
already tell us our budget is whatever, but then you know what the fuck, and so they make the money, they keep counting the money. We're never going to outspend them, so we
When you
have
say they
to.
make the money, you literally mean they print it off. They got a machine. They just press a button, and that money comes
Well,
flying out the machine, right? They not they go out and they make the money. They push a button, they make the money. You know what I'm saying?
They make it too. They make it, and well, they make it, and then the rest of us fight for it.
I
And
say.
at this point, they not even making it no more. It's just on your screen. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everybody's getting, stimulus checks, but that's not real cash currency. That's just on your card. And but anyway, they're circulating money through us. From the government into the private corporations, but they're using the people to funnel the money. So every time they give you a stimulus check, you got to go spend it with them to get what you need to survive. And
I
just so
say.
happen
You're
the
right.
only corporations that's going to be open during the epidemic is ones that supported their campaign, so on and so forth. But
Hmm.
when we come out of this, the doctors, the regular people, the doctors will be blaming the people, and the people will be blaming the doctors, and the politicians will be rich. So
Hmm.
even when they get through with the vaccines, they still gonna get paid off of that.
Hmm.
Then they gonna get paid to stock it when everybody don't have it no more, so on and so forth. And so this year, a lot of my work, we're trying to fast pace a political science class,
Hmm.
which means that you'll be able to use the things that's going around if you're a part of the class to see what's going on, and hopefully it can create like a mass re-education process,
Hmm.
kind of rapid process, because they're making so many mistakes at this point. If you don't see what's going on, then it's because you're consciously ignoring it.
Hmm.
You see,
Hmm.
and that's the good thing about Donald Trump.
Hmm.
He exhausted the patriarchal model of
Hmm.
white supremacy. Yeah,
Hmm.
and so they have to adjust, or they're gonna be like Donald Trump, and nobody wants to be like Donald Trump right now. So effectively, we move the center discourse.
Hmm.
It's kind of like when we start negotiating with them about slavery, and then we start talking about letting us get some of the money too, you know. But
Hmm.
you have to be able to move the center, and so hopefully the black elites learned a lesson from Obama in terms of, even if we are the most powerful man in the world, you can't get nothing done. Like we underestimate how well they built this system around themselves to preserve
Hmm.
power,
Hmm.
and we've been letting them let us make progress in controlled environment. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's
Hmm.
why it be one at a time. Cause as long as they
Hmm.
one of you, we ain't gotta do nothing but shoot you, and the whole movement
Hmm.
over. So
Hmm.
that's one of the things I do like about today's kids. They're smart enough not to present one leader
Hmm.
as the head of the movement. Because when you got one leader, one kill shot, you kill the movement. But when you got
Hmm.
many leaders,
Hmm.
then you can't knock the hustle. You know what I'm saying? You always
Hmm.
survive. But again,
Hmm.
everybody has to be as well studied and as well dedicated as the quote unquote leader.
Right.
And so they might call that a herd mentality, but in this type of reality, they can't catch everybody.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? One somebody's going to get through. But in order for that to work, we have to push at the same time. And now is the time to push.
For
You see what
sure.
I'm saying?
For sure.
But you can't be scared to challenge what people are telling you. You can't be scared to challenge the dominant headline. You know what I'm saying? And so when people tell you is more black people on welfare than white people, that's not true. If people tell you we use the most drugs, that's also not true. We're also not the most violent. You know what I'm saying? We also don't have the most divorces. We also none of the negative shit, the most abortions, none of that. You know what I'm saying? And you know why that is? It's not that we don't do it, but it's because we're such a small portion of this population. So the whole idea is again ridiculous. and it's alien. Those things are disproportionate in our society, of course, but that's because we're dealing with stuff that other communities not dealing with, and we've been dealing with it for a long time. So this year I'll be trying to help people. We did 2020 this year. We said 2020 vision, right? I went to that. I found an old $20 bill. You remember the old $20 bill?
Mm-hmm.
I found old with the little bitty numbers on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had put one with one of those with my new. You know what I'm saying? So this year we seen, and this upcoming year, I'll be doing the same thing, trying to help people see.
I say, dope. So, for me, for Umoja, for this upcoming year, I am also trying to bring unity by creating a platform that will allow us to curate content such as this. I'm currently building a team, but right now, if you are a content creator, you can visit culturalimmersionmedia.com right now. And what's going on? There we go. Submit your content. Give me 1 second. There we go. Culturalimmersionmedia.com and submit your content. So what is cultural immersion? Well, I forgot to tell you. So what is cultural immersion? Media.com. Cultural Immersion Media is the newest streaming television network on Roku. We will be launching in February of 2021. So you can have your content right next to platforms like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, because right now we know that it's almost impossible for us to get our content on platforms of that nature. So we're creating our own platform, Ashe. So please have a look at culturalimmersionmedia.com and go ahead and submit an application if you're interested in submitting your content to our channel. We're trying to curate culturally relevant African diasporic content, so that we can keep having conversations of this nature and be able to see them curated around each other. So that is what I am doing for Umoja. And I'm working with people like Remy and people that he knows. So it's going to be like a Pan-African channel, right? So we're just not going to have stuff from the United States. It's going to be stuff from outside of the country as well. So we're really, really, really excited about that. Again, the launch date will be February 1st, Black History Month. Our first theme for our network for the first year is Black 365. So we're going to start with the month, but then we're going to take it through the whole year. Ashe. So we are excited about that. But back to Remy. Thank you so much for agreeing.
Why is it a limit on the show?
What you mean? A time limit?
Yeah.
I mean, not really. You know what I'm saying? We good. We can go past the hour. I usually try to keep it to an hour, but like it's fine. You know, we can keep talking. It's not a time limit.
Yeah, I might got some other stuff I want to talk about.
For sure. For sure. No worries.
Don't kill me, inviting you to their show, and then only want to let you talk about what they want to talk about.
What are you talking about? What you been talking most of the time, right? The majority of the time, ask questions, but
First of all,
we've been talking about unity, okay? And we've gone through the levels. Like, still, first start with self, right? Then we have to go out into our community, right? And because ultimately, we're trying to build, not necessarily monolithic thinking, because we just said that it's unrealistic for you to think that all of us are going to think the same. We're not going to think the same, but we can have a common goal, right? A common objective that's overarching and that's more important than our individualities. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we're reaching for. And that's what Umoja and unity is about. And we're trying to carry that idea of this overarching principle throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I'll almost equate it to maturity, right? So as you get older, you understand what to look over, things of that nature. Actually, I think of it a little bit. My grandma just passed this week. My dad's mom, and it's been really hard to kind of like grapple with. It reminded me when you were talking about your grandpa. Like I almost don't feel like I can mourn. It's a really odd feeling, but sometimes people love and move in a particular way that you may not understand, but if you accept the way that they love and move, you can get the blessing, right? And you can see that the overarching objective is the same. And you have to be wise when you do that, because some people are crippling, some people are there to hurt you, but some people just move differently than you move. You know what I'm saying? And so it took me a second to understand the difference between someone moving different than I move and then someone moving against me, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's clear.
Of course. Like I said, I moved. At this point, I think I've been to I can't tell how many cities I've been to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been at least 4 or 5 countries, right? And of course, talking about the things that I talk about, for me, you know what I'm saying? When I did the first interview,
Mm-hmm.
like it was like redundant. Like it's almost like, who are you to think that they not gonna try to fuck you over too? You know what I'm saying? It's like the people before us, they was the smartest, articulate. You know, they dress nice, they married, they ain't cheat on, all that good shit, and they still fucking people up like it wasn't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, once you get involved in it, you understand that they coming. But I think that's why a lot of what we do, you hear people talking about being brave and having courage and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already know they coming. You know what I mean? And so a lot of ways, even when you look at history, and you think about the wars in Africa when slavery first broke out, and like the men knew that they were going up against like machine guns and shit, right? Like I know when I go out the door, they finna blast, like, but right,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna stop the bullet from hitting my wife and my kid. You know what I mean? And so when we going out into this context, like we're dealing with, I don't want people to get it misunderstood. We're dealing with the most powerful like government and military entity that has ever existed in the world. So if you took the acumen of black people, black men, and black communities and put them in another time period, we'd probably be the most dominant people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of lost my train of thought. But that's what we're dealing with, and I don't want people to get down or to feel like or to be afraid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, you can't be afraid and do this type of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can't be worried about if somebody's gonna try to undertrip you. Of course they are. You know what I mean? But look at how many things in life you go through anyway. You know, people are trying to undertake you. When you go out for a basketball team or you go compete for this, go compete for that. You know what I mean? You know people are trying to undercut you or do some shit to you, but you do it anyway. So if you say if you're gonna take a chance, you're gonna take a penitentiary chance, right? At least take the penitentiary chance for the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah.
I also see it as you can't have growth without courage, right? So when you are growing into something new and understanding something new, it takes courage to leave behind these, not necessarily traditions, but things that have been instilled in you. You know what I'm saying? Things that you've been so used to holding on to, they feel comfortable, even if they're not healthy for you. And it takes courage to let those things, those ideas, those beliefs, those whatever they are, to let them go and to embrace these new ideas or concepts or actions, right? Movements, whatever it is taking you towards the ultimate goal. So I definitely think that's a really dope point, and I think it's a good point for us to like stop at for this conversation. And I'm definitely gonna have you back, right? So for us to talk
No,
about, look at you, hey, no, my like I'm recording right
no,
now.
I did this right. I don't do you know I am, you know.
He doesn't
I
do live
just
recordings. Thank you for coming. But
no,
we talked about unity today for Umoja. I say.
no. Check it out though, because I had thought about it. I was like, she did have a baby. Like you could at least do an interview. And then I had did the interview with the kids with my people from South Africa. But I don't like doing stuff like this. It's it doesn't it's just not something that appeals to me. You know what I'm saying? And I've been like this the whole time.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it on my show, Remy. Like we can talk about it
What?
after. Like what
Oh,
show?
you
Yeah.
can't cut it out.
No, it's live. People are watching right now. Yeah.
Well, in that case, if you ever need me back, then just let me know.
Terrible. Thank you guys for watching Educeumm Kwanzaa. Ashe, we were talking about Umoja with Remy Johnson. It's been an excellent conversation. If you weren't able to catch it, feel free to go back and watch it on the live feed. But also, it is going to be on Cultural Immersion Media, which you can catch on Roku, the Roku channel. Just go to, Roku Network. Then go to Cultural Immersion Media, click on the channel, and you will be able to see all of the content that we will be streaming for Umoja, as well as some of the other, for Umoja, for Kwanzaa, as well as some of the other Educeumm content. Again, if you are a content curator, right, or a content creator, and you have some dope content that definitely needs to be on a streaming platform, please visit culturalimmersionmedia.com and submit an application. Just click on the Start Here button so that we can start conversating about how to get your content on our platform. All right. Once again, I want to say thank you to Remy. And thank you to everyone who was able to make it and join our discussion talking about unity, Umoja, Kwanzaa, Habari Gani. What's the news?
You supposed to say Asante Sana.
Asante Sana.
Yeah, many thanks. Many thanks. Salutation.
Okay. But can you do mine and then I'll do yours? So I say Habari Gani and you're supposed to say Umoja because that's our principle. And
Uhantu. Uhantu. Umoja. Umoja. Uhantu is the Shona term for Umoja.
Oh, for unity? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, that works. Okay, so we got two now. We got Swahili and what's it called? Shona?
Yeah,
is that in Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah, it's one of the languages it's Chizuru. It's one of the languages in Zimbabwe. You have Ndebele, you have Shona, you have several dialects of Shona and Ndebele specifically. But the concept can be found amongst all Bantu people. So you have Ubuntu, the Ubuntu people, right? You have Uhantu and Ubuntu, which are two of the same concept, but Ubuntu comes from East Africa, right? Kiswahili. But Hantu is a Shona term or principle that basically means the same thing. But you can find these principles throughout Africa. But thank you for letting me be on your show.
I'll say.
I appreciate you.
You 2 gifts. You get a Dope Black Man t-shirt as well as a certificate. So to say thank you and for your dopeness, Ashe, and for us also coming on to our show. So you will be getting that super soon, and I'll need a picture of you on your shirt. Okay? So thank you.
You're going to put a picture of me on my shirt.
I need a picture of you in your shirt. Yes. Your Dope Black Man shirt.
In the shirt. That's another thing.
Not on my show, Ashe. We're gonna log out first, and then we're gonna talk about what you don't do later. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. It's been amazing. Happy Kwanzaa. Go love on somebody. Think about how we can build our community, create unity among each other, right? As well as our Pan-African global community, right? We are not one pillar trying to hold the whole roof. Many pillars. Ashe, peace, love, and light.
Well, I'm supposed